This is what we're working with, and it is not enough space. We have things piled around our house, desperately need to better utilize the room that our library is in, and here's what we turned it into. So I'm gonna put timestamps down below of the build and then the tour and then like the more in-depth tour for those of you who want specific parts, but let's get into it. We used stair treads. We learned this from watching Ariel Bassett's library build because they've got those like rounded front edges already, and that ended up looking so nice. So we conditioned, we stained while that was drying. We put our brackets on the wall. My Grey's Anatomy skills came in clutch right here. The poly is what we were definitely the most afraid for or nervous for because this could be the moment where we ruin everything, but it was okay. 3 coats of that, sanding very, very lightly to get the boards glossy and smooth and just as slick as we wanted them to be so they looked as pretty as they possibly could. And then it was kind of time to just start going for it. This is the moment I've been waiting my entire life for. As you can see, we are patching a hole in the wall because we'd actually started with entirely different brackets, but we ended up switching gears because these fit better with like the stud placements in our wall. We used washers to space out the boards. You can kind of see that in this head-on shot. And the Lego City was the first thing to find its new home on the shelf. And then we kind of just plan of attack was get the weird things on there and then see how much room we have. And so I think this is a good place to explain that everything on here is red. So we downstairs have a book tower of a lot of our like standalone hardcovers, and then we have this ledge that follows our stairwell, and that is our TBR shelf. So there are plenty more books in our house. Not that you would think this wasn't all of them, because this is a ridiculous amount, but this is where our completed things go. So more stuff will join, but this is us realizing exactly how much room we have and like getting to slide things down and make room and run around the house and find different trinkets and things to use as bookends and figure out where we should make horizontal stacks. I can't stop looking at them. I want to sit in this room for honestly the rest of my life and just stare at these. Now that the shelves are complete, you've seen the process. It was so stupid, but it was so worth it looking at this end result. I think it maybe is time for a bookshelf tour. I have not gone through and done a check to make sure everything is like alphabetically where it should be. So make fun of me if things are out of order and then I will know to fix them, please. This top corner is nonfiction stuff, and then obviously so much room for the Lego City to grow. And then up in this top corner is comic books. I mean, it's very Winona Earp dominated. And then down below, we're working on the series of unfortunate events. We've been keeping our eye out for them whenever we're in secondhand stores to kind of like get some loved copies so it feels a little bit like the childhood ones that we knew and loved. Then just some space filler, which is so amazing. To have shelf room like that to just grow, like it, I thought it would stress me out having like these weird bare spots, but it's just opportunity. This midsection is series or books that have more than one thing to them. And then down here we've got all of these like mass markets that are my girlfriend's like pride and joy. And I mean, they do look cute and tiny over there all together. And then, especially compared to just being stacked around the house randomly because we just didn't have a space for them. And then the rest of this stuff behind me down here is like one-off, standalone fiction, alphabetical order, same as the series up here. And then working on actually seriously close to a complete collection of the Hardy Boys books, in like the old bindings. And then this is just whatever it is. So let's take a closer look and then see how much it changes in a week or a month or 2 months or whatever. It's just absolutely unfathomable to have this much room and space for the library to grow. Up here we've got just a lot of nonfiction stuff. This left-hand portion is a lot of like leftovers from college and school and stuff that we kind of like wanted to hang on to for some reason or another. This is just like a box of keepsakes, birthday cards, notes, stuff like that. And then this is kind of like the random few pieces of nonfiction that just don't have a home otherwise. Yeah, it's so pitifully tiny. It's kind of funny. And then obviously the Lego City, which is growing. I've got the Parisian restaurant to build next, actually, so that's probably going to take over where these shoe boxes are very, very soon. This over really is just like Winona Earp Central. So this is a really cool print, like postcard, that is The Haunting of Hill House, but it is Winona Earp themed instead. And then we've got a Windock, then we've got a Windock candle. Up here is a metal signed Cat Burrell print, and then behind that is a bunch of just like bagged and board single issues of the Winona comics. We've got, of course, a can of Beaver Buzz, and then the 918 Winona Funko stacked on some of the like more oddly shaped graphic novels that we've got. And then up over here is kind of where the individual issues begin, and we've got a little tiny baby She-Hulk down here, just, you know, keeping watch, making sure everything is all good. As I mentioned, this is so close. I think we're just missing a couple, really, and I love the colors of these. I think they're just a really cute display piece anyways, but I am dying to do a reread of them because I haven't read them since I was a child, and I think they'd be fun as an adult. And then this is just like a little scrapbook. Here is an old camera case with some of the coffee table books that just kind of like were oddly shaped to be downstairs, so they've made their way up here, and I'm sure this pile will grow now that we have kind of a space for it. And then this is just a little glass brick full of like weird trinkety things from events like concert tickets, movie stubs, event bracelets, receipts from like fun places, and just all kinds of stuff like that. This midsection is a little bit crazy in my head. I don't know how I feel about like the softer kind of contemporary series just being mixed in with those hard fantasy things. But for now, and with like the quantities of what we've got going on, it just seems to make sense to us to separate in like series versus standalones. And for the most part, like this whole midsection of our shelf is like the meat of our collection. And it's kind of funny how they're pretty evenly numbered. They were so scattered around the house before. And then also, I guess something to mention is everything in this room and on the shelf is like red. We have a different shelf of like standalone hardcovers, and then a different shelf of TBR stuff out in the rest of our house. So like everything that you're seeing on here, we've read and we've deemed reasonable to stay within our collection. So I guess I'll just do like a couple close-ups, little run through of what we've got going on here. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how to do this better than by series and by standalone. Of course, we've got Fourth Wing. We've got the After series, which is really just a beast of a series. These, I am so upset about the cover change, and I haven't done anything about like figuring out how to commit to the rest of the series, because like these look good, but like the white is so boring. The yellow stands out really cool on An Ember in the Ashes. Kind of keeping an eye out for the third book as it comes along, because these are in these weird scholastic prints, which aren't the normal ones. So waiting for the last one to kind of just pop out. Of course, we've got the Aristotle and Dante books. Like these are kind of like the first ones that I feel like really, really weird about being up here. I just feel like they belong down below because the first one spent so much time on its own, you know? We've got just randomly the 6th Percy Jackson book, Before I Fall. That is a weird one. Kind of same with like the Uglies over there. Like they're just in there. This series, this trilogy actually, have yet to get the third one because it is not out in paperback yet. And like, look at these, like those are cute. Those are so cute. And I can't wait to have all 3 on the shelf. The ACOTAR series, I started collecting it when these 2 came out,
And they obviously did a cover change, which was well needed and much deserved. But I still have yet to read any Sarah J. Maas stuff. And it's kind of like the Ember and the Ashes situation. Like, I just don't know what to do and how to proceed with these. Like, do I try to find the ones that match? Do I just scrap it and get the new pretty ones? Like, I don't know. Maybe now that I have all of this room to grow, I'll rush to a decision there. Of course, we've got Marie Lu's Legend trilogy, which there is a fourth one. I need to get my hands on it. Grave Mercy is up here, and then this is where it gets a little bit weird too in my brain. The Delilah Green Doesn't Care, like the Bright Falls trilogy, just, it doesn't fit between these, you know? Like, it's a little weird. Like, maybe I need a queer fiction trilogy section, because we kind of have the same issue going on over here with the Alexandra Bellafleur books, next to like these very epic Leigh Bardugo and Tracy Deonn stuff. Like, it doesn't fit, but like, it looks nice, the colors look good. I don't know, but I am so stoked for the Legendborn, Bloodmarked, like for the rest of these. I think these are so good. I've been seeing them around lately in a lot of people's content, and if you have not picked these up, like, just do it, seriously. So yeah, we've got one of the best duologies, I think, of all time ever, of course. And then I am so excited to read Ninth House. I guess I kind of lied. This one's over here. It is like to be read. Same with Grave Mercy, actually. I didn't want to put the first books of the series. Like, I like to get the whole series before I don't know how to explain myself. So I guess I'm a little bit of a liar. And then we've got Travis Baldree up here, which I think it's so fitting that he's kind of like the start of the whole shebang, because like those books are just absolute gems. This whole area is just absolutely nothing but room to grow, and I'm so excited about it. We've had these 3 prints that we picked up from like a local farmer's market for a really long time, and just like nowhere to really put them that made sense. So I'm kind of excited right now to have a space for them, and I think they're cute and they kind of balance out like the darkness, but I'm more excited to fill this whole board up with books. So a couple of like goofy photos of us and our dogs. We've got these prints, and then just kind of like some trinkets, Magic 8 Ball, foreign money, and a bread flag. Traveling downward is kind of where we hit the mass market obsession. I'm not even gonna spend much time on this because I don't even know what we've got going on here, but it looks like a lot of CJ Box and a lot of Robert Gray, and then kind of branching out over on this end. But they look cute. They're so itty bitty. Actually, these are cute little TBR cards, so they help you kind of pick your next read, and they're just themed decks that will help. We've got our man Philip Grubauer, you know, just really holding down the fort, you know, making a strong transition from itty bitties to whatever the heck this is. This is so chaotic to go through, so I'm just kind of gonna run by it. But I think like this is where I probably have error on anything being a little bit out of place. It's likely to be in this section. And I'm actually really shocked at the way that like the color is balanced. I really thought we were gonna be super black and white heavy, and we're not. It's very colorful and bright and just cheery and pretty. And then, as you can tell, the rest of this is just Hardy Boys books, and kind of there you have it.
Thank you for watching the build process and the initial tour of this absolute dream come true.